century's most important buildings, the Sydney Opera House is located on the foreshores of Sydney Harbour at Bennelong Point and is exposed to the erosive effects of a marine environment. Early detection of damage to structural concrete is a prerequisite of cost-effective maintenance. Balderstone Hornibrook, the builders of the Opera House, have been maintaining an around-the-year inspection program. The experienced eyes of inspectors can recognise and evaluate the amount of deterioration from one inspection to the next. Early signs, such as hair cracking or staining on the concrete surface, are noted and kept under surveillance. If the inspector thinks that an area is in need of repair, he reports it to his foreman, who will decide on an appropriate course of action. Ove Arup and Partners, the structural designers of the Opera House, are closely supervising maintenance procedures. Concrete repair is a topical subject in the mid-80s, but the problem has been identified and kept under control at Bennelong Point for the last 15 years. It's not widely recognised that the foundations of the Sydney Opera House are partly supported on piles, standing in salt water by now for nearly 30 years. There are many repair methods advocated today to deal with corrosion affecting reinforced concrete. This documentary is presenting the Ove Arup specification that has been successfully implemented with only minor modifications since 1974. Under the Broadwalk, the air is constantly saturated with saltwater vapour. If the chloride ions are allowed to penetrate to the reinforcing steel, they will break down the steel's resistance to rusting, and spalling of concrete will occur. Early signs of deterioration are visual cracks, rust stains, or a drummy sound when the surface is tapped with a hammer. Once the location of the required repair is determined, work can begin. First, scaffolding must be established. Backwash from harbour traffic can create strong turbulence in the water, and adequate safety equipment must be placed nearby. The concrete has to be demolished to expose the rusting reinforcing steel, which is then sandblasted until all corrosion is removed. Immediately after sandblasting, the steel is covered with an epoxy primer. Before concrete is poured, the whole repair surface is again coated with epoxy, and the concrete is poured while the epoxy is still tacky. Formwork has to be prepared and put in position before the epoxy sets. Ready-mixed bags of concrete are carried to the nearest possible location where it's mixed and then placed. The good quality of the concrete is essential to the success of the repair. After the initial curing period, the formwork is removed, revealing the new concrete. The new concrete needs protection from salt water and help with its curing process. A coat of tar epoxy is applied to the new concrete as a future surface protection. This surface coating also acts as a curing aid. Before the application of the epoxy, the concrete is washed down with fresh water and quickly surface dried with hot air. The month and year of the repairs are painted on and can be seen scattered all over the vast Underbroadwalk structure. Further areas of deterioration are awaiting repair, some with substantial damage to the steel, which would have to be cut out and replaced. The sea is pounding away relentlessly at the concrete structure, but with hard work and diligent application, this prime landmark of modern Australia is preserved for future generations of Sydneysiders and tourists to admire. Preventative maintenance needs foresight and understanding. It's not fixing the obvious, but committing funds and springing to action before the damage is done. The result is pleasing to the eye and kind to the budget. Indeed, a penny spent is a pound saved.